Welcome to the best outdoors program just off the shores of the mighty Red River. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show, the heart and soul of all things related to God's great outdoors. Starring Gary McCoy, an all-around outdoorsman with a CMA Award for Best Personality in Radio. A man who excels in the radio world and needs no introduction to the outdoors, whether standing tall in the winter circle or sitting low in the deer stand. Mike Eccles, the boss, tournament trail director, and outstanding duck hunting guide with a wealth of outdoors knowledge who's not afraid to give his opinion with or without the facts. His years of bass tournament experience ensures that rules are followed and anglers are kept in check. And last but not least, Daiwa and Ranger Pro Steve Graff, a member of the Northwestern State University Hall of Fame with years of bass tournament experience who continues his pursuit of a double-digit bass and championship stringers. So let's jump on the front deck and make that first cast with the legendary minds of the great outdoors. Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and the one and only Steve Graff. Take it away, guys.
Hey, thank you for tuning in. We are hooking up and tracking down 1130 The Tiger. Gary McCoy, along with the old Ranger Pro staffer, Steve Graff, Mike Eccles. All of us back in the house this week. Last week, the two of you guys were down at Kirk Carver's place at Toledo Town to Tackle. Great show down there. You getting ready for Bob Seeley's Big Bass splash down there, I mean, what a great tournament he had. We got some results of that coming up here in a few. Also on the way today, Johnny Geis.
Johnny Geis
going to be on the show. We've got a report from Lake Fork. Yep. What are you thinking? Good, bad, indifferent?
I'm thinking things are probably slowing down.
Yeah, it's about that time of the year. Yeah. Now it won't be long. All the fish will be set up on their summertime haunts.
Yeah, they're looking up now. Looking up. Things are looking up, baby.
Yeah, buddy. David Croissant's going to be on the show from the CCA. This one's going to be huge.
He's got a lot to talk about today, too.
Elite Series Pro Randy Howell is back again.
If you want to know how the fishing is, Randy's going to be able to tell us because he's going to be calling live.
From the water?
On the water.
Hey.
At Heartland 1010.
Oh, that's where he's at right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome.
We're talking about going over there, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
As soon as you can write me a check.
No. You just got one.
Oh, and
we're going to take that new Ranger boat you got sitting out there.
There you go.
Dude.
There you go.
And this one's going to be really huge for us. Always, one of the things that Graff is famous for is being able to get the big stars in the moment while the light is really on them. And how he pulls this off is always bewildering to us.
Today's suspect, though.
What do you mean?
It
might not happen?
It might not happen today.
Okay.
He's in the middle of shooting videos today, but he's hoping he can make time for us.
Well, the Texas Bass Fest champ, Brandon Palaniuk.
Palaniuk.
Well, I'm sorry. I tried.
You did a good job. You
okay.
tried.
He's going to be on the show.
Hey, what's
he, like 18?
He looks like it.
Yeah.
He looks like it. He's been on the tour for 4 years.
Man, I got crankmates older than him.
I'm telling you.
What's the difference in Bass Fest and the Elite Tournament?
I really don't know.
Okay.
But it does qualify as one of the elites because you qualify
So it
for
was
the Classic.
it was not the Elite over there on Rayburn?
No, it was the elites.
Okay.
Oh, I know what it is. It's a combination of FLW and Elite Pros together against each other. It's a competition between those two organizations, basically.
But it was also an elite tournament. One of the qualified for the Elite.
So if you're an FLW guy and you win that, do you get elite points?
I don't know how that works. No,
because you're only fishing one of the five or whatever.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if I was a BASS Elite angler, which the only thing stopping me from doing that is money and skills. But if I was, and I guess it doesn't matter because you're only talking about 100 boats in the Elite, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. But when you bring in the FLW pros, you're doubling the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doubling the amount of people on
board. But they don't
lake.
bring all their fish to the scales. They weigh them in the boat.
That's a good question. Do they bring all the elite guys, or is it just partial?
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe it's an invitation.
Randy Howell has got a bunch to talk about.
Yeah.
Randy Howell made a major boo-boo, I think, in throwing a fish back.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I also told him I wanted to talk about the scouting of tournaments now compared to 5 to 7 years ago. The difference to today.
Okay, well, what you want to talk to about is going to go by the wayside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but no, really, because I think we've talked about that a bunch. This deal about them doing it like a major league,
Yeah.
and weighing it, to me, is like they either did something I'm not seeing, or there's a lot of questions raised in that format.
Huh.
Really?
Okay, would you fish balls if everybody weighed their own fish?
If there was a marshal, I'd be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be okay.
I'm just saying that I would like to hear all the facts about the format, because it really seems like it's borderline on something that could be questionable.
Huh.
I'm not questionable. Could produce a lot of questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong. I'm just saying I want to hear more about it.
Well, we do.
It sounds like you're accusing somebody, Mike.
That's what I heard.
I'm accusing
That's what
you.
I heard. Well, we do have the results from the Texas Bass Fest, and
Yes.
all the results from the Big Bass Splash on Toledo Bend from Bob Seeley. Congratulations to
Chad
somebody
Williams.
from Falk, Arkansas.
Chad Williams. Yeah. I wonder if he's seen Bigfoot before.
I bet he has.
I bet he has. Too.
I bet he has.
We need to get him on the show.
He had Big
probably
Finn.
hadn't seen the movie.
He had Big
Too
Finn
old.
in the boat with him.
He had what?
Big Finn.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had Big Finn in the boat with him.
First place, Chad Williams, Falk, Arkansas, 10.86. And I think he was caught on day one, if I'm not mistaken. Second place was Jerry.
Now wait a minute. I want to set the stage on this one.
Okay.
For Jerry Matney,
All right.
he's just caught a 10.5-pound fish, 10.56 pounds. Okay,
All right.
and finishes second.
Yeah.
That would just be a kick in the crotch, wouldn't
I'm
it?
telling you.
God.
Unless he had a great set of scales,
Yeah.
he probably spent a couple of hours thinking he had it won.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably right. He's from Dewey, Oklahoma, and as Gary's alluded to, he had 10.56 for second place. Dustin Boyd from Converse, local boy, 9.33.
Dustin Boyd has fished several of the tournaments we put on.
Yeah, he's a good angler. Eric Williamson from Vidor, Texas, had a 9.26 for fourth, and Matt Miller finished fifth from Jennings, Louisiana, at 9.01.
I want you to look through there and look and see, because I was looking at these the other day, look and see how many people from Shreveport, Bossier City, Keithville, anywhere, there's a stone wall.
Yeah, there's
a
stone
stone
wall.
wall in there.
Shreveport.
And
Peyton Knowles from
I want to say
Shreveport.
there's like three.
Clint Walton from Bossier.
Yeah.
Now, what did we have last year? Ty Humphreys.
Yeah.
Won it
Steve
or
Nichols.
second?
Steve Nichols was like second or third.
That's a Mount Pleasant, Texas guy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But it was really crazy.
How come everybody from Mount Pleasant can catch
Yeah,
fish?
they
but
all
you?
catch fish but me. Lord. Let's see here.
But you do have a pretty boat.
Zawali Flory.
Yeah. It was just really crazy. I was looking.
Yeah, not many.
Not many at all from the Shreveport Bossier area.
Yeah.
From the immediate area.
I did see one of our sponsors, Randy Despino. He got.
But
fourth or
when
fifth in an
when
hour.
you look at this and you take areas,
There's a Benton.
you take areas. There's probably not a lot from any area.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just such a great format.
Yeah.
That anybody can win and anybody can draw a check in.
Yeah.
That it just diversifies across the 4 or 5 states that people come from.
And
Well, here's an hour: Arizona, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, for just 1 hour. Oklahoma.
Ronnie Madole from Shreveport
Yeah.
had a 4-pound fish and made some money. See, that's awesome when you can have a 4-pound fish and still get your.
go to
Ronald Ainsworth.
go to day 2.
Where am I at here? Day 2. That was day
Saturday.
2. Okay.
Well, find Claude Eccles on day 2.
What do you know? What hour?
No,
Well, I didn't see
I don't know
Claude
how to spell his name. He lied to me then.
because I didn't see Claude anywhere.
Go back up. You're still too far down.
I'm in Saturday hour 1 and 2. No Claude Eccles on here.
That's the 1 to 2.
Saturday 12 to 1.
Yeah.
Nope. 11 to 12.
He's told another story.
Nope.
No, he didn't tell a story. He's on there.
Ronald Ainsworth finished third, 10 to 11 hour. Nope. 9 to 10 hour. He's not there. And hour, say 8 to 9.
Him and Shelby must have got deep in that whiskey and just imagine they caught
7 to
fish.
8. Nope. He's nowhere on here.
Huh. Maybe it was the first day.
Maybe he went to another tournament.
It could have been.
Hey, he shows up late all the time.
Hey, I got something for us that
lake.
you're just. I promise you, Eccles, you've never heard a story like this before.
Uh-oh. Well, we thought Eccles wrote it.
Yeah, we thought you had written
I
this.
thought you wrote it.
This just happened within the last couple of weeks. Texas angler Matthew J. McNellis fishing some trees behind the Highview Marina on Lake Bardwell in Ennis, Texas on May the 8th. He caught a giant largemouth bass on a McDonald's Chicken McNugget attached to a jug line for catfish. The bass measured 24.5 inches long, weighed 10.802 pounds, besting the current lake record bass of 1044 that was caught back in 2006 on a minnow. McNellis had the fish weighed, photographed at Highview Marina before releasing it back into the lake to be caught another day. A chicken McNugget. Would that be... That wouldn't be legal in a tournament, would it?
Well, Joey Hood sent me that picture, and I said,
"Oh, you've already seen the story?
Yeah.
Dang." Okay.
And I asked him, was it? I forget what I asked him. I have to look back, but he said no. He said there was he had 5 McNuggets on a Alabama rig.
That's pretty good.
But if you can use processed pork, skin, pork,
pork rind,
not pork rind, pork skin for your chick trailer, can you use processed chicken meat?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know what? We brought this question up while we were fishing with Johnny Geis here a couple of weeks ago. Because on occasion he catches fish on a brim head.
We did. Y'all did.
Yeah.
Y'all did.
Well, a brim head, that would not qualify.
It constitutes live bait.
It's not live.
It would not constitute live bait. So what I recommend is for you to Pete Daniels just go to Caddo Lake
fish with
during the
brim
championship, and have some brim heads, buddy. Yeah, just do that. Yeah. I'm like Ron White. I'll make $1 million off telling that story.
Hey, boy, I'll make you famous. Okay.
Talk about famous.
All right. Now, the Texas Bass Fest.
Brandon Polinick is famous once again for a $100,000 win. 93, almost broke 100, guys. 93.12 pounds of fish won first place. Second place was Brent Ayler.
Okay, now stop right there.
All right.
With 93 pounds. Does that mean that Sam Rayburn will be the -- bass fishing lake in America for 2017?
My team partner called it. He said the next 2 years Rayburn will be ranked #1, and I think the results of this kind of tournament will probably help encourage that.
Give Polinick's his 4 daily weights.
Day 1, 24/7. Day 2, 23/2. Day 3, 24/7. Day 4, 21/12.
That's smoking him, man. That is smoking him. And you know what? Brent Ayler was leading, at the end of the first day? Was he leading first 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Or just 1?
Probably both days. Yeah, he probably was leader after day 2. He had 25/6, 22/5, 24/3, and 19/14. Oh, he dropped off.
Bad. That's bad when you have almost a 20-pound day and it costs you the tournament.
Yeah, if you don't catch 20 pounds every day, you ain't gonna win.
That's just crazy.
Give me the last minute.
What was the biggest sack of the tournament? Do you know? Was that anywhere on there? Who won that award?
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't say. But Jacob Wheeler was third. Jordan Lee, classic champion, finished fourth. It was 77.7, and for $24,000. He's made pretty good money.
What was the difference between 1 and 2, weight wise?
1 and 2. Let's see here, 2 pounds basically.
Okay.
Yep, 2 pounds.
So if Brent Ayler had a 22-pound day that last day,
exactly 2 pounds.
He's there.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, how many of those are? Let's see. I'm not seeing any of the FLW guys. Or are they not reported on that?
Hank Cherry Jr., Greg Vinson, Jason Christie, Alton Jones Jr., Cliff Crochet, Kelly J. I bet Kelly J is one of those.
Yeah.
Last year, the FLW guys dominated.
I was going to ask you. I wonder if you took a body of water, and confined it, let's say, or 4 different bodies of water, and a little mini circuit. If the FLW guys or the BASS guys would dominate.
It'd be pretty dead even.
Okay.
I bet it would.
What you got?
I really do. Are you through?
Yeah, I'm through. Go ahead.
Okay.
Take it away, Mike.
Thank you. The Cash Splash out on Cross Lake last Thursday night. Congratulations, Joe Hood, Jerry Letterman came in with 3 fish, weighed 14.15, won $750. Poor old Ed Fairchild and Gary Yates. I love them to death. They came in early with 13.45, and I'd have give you odds they had it won.
Wow.
But they came in second, won $650. Randy Hernandez and George Hodges third with 12.45. And Big Bass of 828 that George caught.
That's a good fish.
$300 for that and $550 for the stringer. Jeffrey Nelson, John Valentine, fourth, 1165. Josh and Johnny Johnson, no surprise, fifth place, 1148. The youth division, I don't have their weights, but William 2, first place in the youth division, $200 from David Cowden Roofing and Hooking Up and Tracking Down. Second place in the youth division went to Dawson Cowden, $100 from National Loan and Jewelry. Thank you, Tookie. And then Aubrey Johnson came in third. She won $50 from Yelverton Painting Contractors. Thank you, Ralph Yelverton.
How about that?
So that was a good. We had a good shot. 93 teams.
Oh wow,
That's a good turn.
you just that one really has taken. It's kind of like the bowling night for a fisherman.
Yeah, and we all wear the goofy shirts.
What time do you generally get home if you're one of the
about
anglers?
10, about 10:30.
Okay,
Not bad.
So I mean, it's not like
you ought to show up.
yeah. I mean, I can just imagine me the next morning at 3:30 trying to get up. All right, we are hooking up and tracking down. Johnny Geis is on the way. We're going to talk Lake Fork. 11:30, the Tiger.
Thanks for tuning us in today. This segment is presented by Daiwa Rods and Reels, J&J Exterminating, Redneck Reflections, V&M Baits, and Paul's Farm and Garden. Get your garden ready for spring by stopping by Paul's Farm and Garden. Now, back to the guys who love fresh vegetables, Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and Steve Graff.
Thanks again for tuning in, hooking up and tracking down. 11:30, the Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the old mud hen, Mike Eccles, Steve Graff, the Ranger Pro Staffer, little top waters in there. Got his regular baseball cap on this week.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
You look
And the
good, man.
logos, just
You do the accessorizing.
totally.
Do you have a tattoo? Mm-hmm. Do you? Do you have piercings?
Is it your mom on your mom? Yeah, mom on there or something?
No, I have Nike swooshes tattooed on my feet.
Do you really?
Yeah.
On
You
the
have
ankles?
what on your
Nike
feet?
swooshes.
On the ankles?
Really?
No, on my actual foot, like where the swoosh would be if you're wearing a shoe.
What's a swoosh?
The swoosh.
Oh, on the side
The
of your
swoosh.
foot.
Yeah,
Oh.
I used to call them a check. It's a true
The-
story. Probably not great for on the air, so I'll tell you later. But long story short, I was corrected by a
Neither
high
is a
executive
piercing.
at Nike that you don't call them checks, you call them swooshes.
Yeah.
So since then, I've been very careful.
and
Oh.
they sued you for trademark infringement or
They
something.
actually sent me 2 pair of shoes.
Did they really?
No.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I went to the Radio Row Final Four in Dallas, and George Raffling at the time, older guy, he was the executive of Nike basketball, and he was on Radio Row. And so we saw him, and Tim Brando, I was doing a show at the time, he says, you should totally show him your feet. So here in a full suit, I take off my dress shoes and my socks and put a foot up on this 75-year-old executive's lap.
So
He loved it.
if I tattoo Ranger on my chest, I wonder if they'll send me a boat.
I would recommend asking them before you do the tattoo.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny, guys, would you get a tattoo of Ranger if you got a new ride all the time?
I would quickly if I got a new ride. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We're
Hey,
good.
Johnny.
What's
Okay,
up?
are you on the water today, or are you in Rebecca's?
No, we're on the water, but we got 25-mile-an-hour winds, so we're kind of tucked in the cove. Got out of them a little bit, and we're waiting for it to subside so I can get out deep. But they're biting now.
Are they?
Woo!
Okay, now tell me, are your deep water fish biting, or are you having to move up shallow?
No, they're still biting good out there. There's more and more coming out every day, and last 3 or 4 trips have been really good. I mean, we're catching everything, and usually 8, 10 pretty good quality bass every day right now.
What would you say is an average day with Johnny Geis this time of the year?
Till one more week, we're hitting about 8 to 10 bass a day, and then we'll jump that up to about 15 or 20 around the 1st of June. But I'm talking about fish, every one of them over 5 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
We had a 757 yesterday, and that was our largest one. And we hit a little spot, by the pump station. I think y'all fished with me there before. And about 3 o'clock, it turned on, and it was every drop with the live bluegill.
Well, I'll be dog. Now, what's the biggest fish that has ever been caught on your deep water pattern out there when you're fishing with those live bluegill?
We've had 11-10 that was caught right while, it was a couple years ago, right before I went on live with y'all. We had just boated the thing, and it was a big fish. So that was our biggest one so far, but we've had a few bigger ones on that come up and jump. We just didn't get them in the boat.
How would you recommend to somebody else who was just out there trying to find, with artificial bait? If you ever just told somebody, here's how I would approach these areas if I was going to fish with artificials.
Well, when you're talking about these areas being my deep structure point.
Well, I mean, just deep. If somebody's out there just on a deep hump or a deep drop of some kind, how would you tell them to approach that with an artificial?
2 baits work. Well, 3 baits work good with that. But football jigs, football head jig, about 3/4, even a 1 ounce, and a good kind of a trailer on that that's got a lot of action. Stroking that up and down pretty fast off the hump, that'll catch a big fish. The 10-inch plum monster worm or a Berkeley worm, 10-inch, and fish a 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce weight, that'll catch a big fish. And if you really got a lot of strength in your wrist, just put that 10XD on and fish them all day long if you can keep them out of the trees, and that'll catch the deep fish too. So those 3 baits, and maybe throw in the flutter spoon, the Big Joe's flutter spoon that works good in the summertime.
Yeah, that's my specialty, that spoon.
Yeah. Explain that stroking.
Like that day.
Explain that stroking, Johnny.
Stroking on that jig where you throw it out and you hop it off the bottom, pretty good pace. I mean, you really pop it, and they'll hit it on the fall. So it's not where you, in most time on football jig, you want to touch every pebble on the bottom and just drag it slowly. They'll hit that. But there's certain times in the summer where you can pop that thing off the bottom. It's kind of a reaction bite, and they will jump off the bottom and chase it down and get it.
It's a 3 to 4 foot hop.
Yeah. It's a real quick action. And actually, you can do that with a big worm too.
Yeah.
It just depends on where the fish are laying on the bottom or they're suspended up and chasing a little bit. So you move around and do something different. But hey, you can't beat the brim head and cutting up the brim right now because we have been wearing them out for 2 days on that.
So that's the trick right now is just the head?
Yeah, well, that and I'm cutting the brim with 2 or 3 slices, making rib cages. It don't matter. It's just for some reason they're still following the big school of white bass, the ones that's coming out now. And when the whites kind of taper off, and I'm talking about if we catch 50 of them, I told them just get ready now. The big old bass is going to turn on. And sure enough, yesterday, right after lunch, we sit there and caught about 30, 40 big whites, and then they turned on and six big bass hit brim heads. And rib cages that there.
Wow.
Mike, we figured we could come up with a artificial brim head that puts out scent and probably make it work.
Or you can go catch a brim and cut it off.
No, I'm talking about we're trying to use it
Legal
for
for tournaments.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Trying to make it legal.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to market that in Walmart?
Johnny, you're sitting on a gold mine, Johnny, and don't even know it.
Well, you'd have to get all the colors too. You know, we'd have to have green pumpkin and watermelon red.
Hey, that's not a
The
problem.
Johnny Geist brim head.
I'm telling you.
And Johnny, a lot of people, I've had a number of people since we got back over there ask me about that because they didn't understand it. And the way you explain it is you got these massive schools of white bass, which are, I just didn't catch them as I would.
And you did wear them out.
You know, as I
Yeah,
would,
you did.
5, 6 pound bass. But these big schools, and they're just knocking the fool out of these big shad, killing them. And these bass are actually, black bass are laying under the schools, foraging on the dead stuff. Now, people don't think of a black bass as a scavenger.
Right.
But Johnny has proved that it will happen, and sometimes they actually prefer the piece of dead
This
meat.
guy just caught the lake record on a chicken McNugget.
Exactly.
If you don't think that a bass is a scavenger,
You know, I'm not fishing with my lunch. I'm eating it.
Me and you
I
both.
am not putting it in the water.
I ain't giving up a nugget for a bass.
Hey, we still got some good frog fishing, swim jig fishing too. I mean, we got good shallow water cover with all the rains. Our lake stayed real full, so I think my big bass bite will gradually get better and better, but it's going to be a layering effect.
It may be extended this year.
Yeah, it's going to be extended. So many fish are still running the shallows, you know. But mainly when it gets hot, we just had to. I mean, I got a jacket on.
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. We've got a big cold front that's coming in, and it's near record lows tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and that's kept the water about 72, 75 on Main Lake, and my bite gets good up to 85, 90 degrees. So I need some heat, but they're already out there biting, and plus we're catching fish all day long on Carolina rig, throwing what we're catching on
Well,
right now.
Johnny, you're getting
It's fun.
We're also getting some really good timely rains right now. I mean, it's just enough distance between them, and lakes going down a little bit, and all of a sudden you get another real good rain to jump it back up. That's good for the fishing.
Yeah, we got the pros. I hear you talking about the tournament. The Texas Toyota was the elite, down on Rayburn, and Hank Cherry was here. I saw his boat under the shed yesterday. He just drove by the bridge a while ago. We saw him, and they're here en route to Russellville. And I'm sure Lake Forest is a good place to keep tuned up on catching fish because it's biting there.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I don't believe there's anybody within a 200-mile radius of here could promise a trip like you can right now, Johnny. I mean, if you think about it, you're going to go over there, and you're probably going to go out and catch 20 or 30 brim, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a
And
good time doing that.
Something that less than seasoned anglers can do real well.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you're going to go out, and sometime during the day, you're going to catch 40, 50, 60 white bass that will pull like tarpon.
The train, exactly.
And in between then, you're going to catch anywhere from 12 to 15 to 20 bass that will probably average 5.5 to 6 pound average.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget to throw in about 10 big old channel cats.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
dude, we wore those channel cats out.
Don't throw them back. Keep them. I promise you, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're going to wish you had kept those
Yeah.
cats.
And
I
those
wish-
were good eating size.
I wish we'd have kept them.
Those are good eating size
Yeah.
ones we caught.
I helped the customer clean them yesterday. They were from Kansas, and they took home I think he had 12 bags of about 5 pounds a bag of fillets. Is what they took back.
Wow.
Huh.
It was a fun trip, and my fingers are sore and chewed up right now. And yeah, really, somebody just likes to catch fish, and that's what I like to do. We stay catching fish all day. The brim were so big this morning, I don't know why, but I bet we threw back 10 brim that averaged a pound.
Wow.
It's huge in the brush piles we were fishing.
Huh.
I love it. I love it when the first couple of fish come in the boat. I love hearing Johnny go, I just love my job.
I did say that yesterday, guys. I did. They did turn on good. Great time to come to Lake Fork, and I do have a few days, good days left in June and July, so I do want to share that with them.
Okay, what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you and just take advantage of one of those days?
Yeah, call me on 972-800-3882. That area code 972-800-3882. My website is lakeforkbigfish.com. Facebook, or just go on Johnny Guy's Fishing Guide on Facebook and look at the pictures I post the last 2 or 3 days, and you'll be wanting to book a trip. I know we will.
Johnny, before we let you go, our next segment, what, in your opinion, is the greatest topwater bait of all time?
Greatest topwater bait of all time. God, I fished so many good ones, and I really like them. The chugger type baits. And probably the Czar spook. All right, I'm gonna say
that's what I was gonna say. The Czar spook.
The Czar spook, day in and day out. When somebody really knows how to fish that bait, and there's some versions of that now by some of these Japanese companies that are a lot better than our old Czar spook. But it will draw fish. I've caught fish in 35 foot of water suspended in the trees, obviously, but just go down the middle of the lake and catch fish on a Czar spook. It'll draw fish up.
Yep.
I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
We are hooking up. Thank you, Johnny. Hooking up and
Thank you, guys.
tracking down. 11:30, the Tiger.
You're listening to the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show, presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Nichols Department Stores, Louisiana Coastal Conservation Association, and Lake Fork Marina, the #1 marina resort on Lake Fork, now with a new and improved tackle store. Once again, here's Steve, Gary, and Mike.
United Rentals offers a wide range of services from custom on-site specialty solutions to online management tools, all designed to be convenient and cost-effective. With online services and equipment protection plans, United Rentals leaves no stone unturned to make sure you get the most cost-effective production out of your rental time. Go to UnitedRentals.com to find a dealer near you. United Rentals, the largest rental company in the world. Thank you, David Duchelle.
And the United Rentals question of the day today, you might have heard a minute ago, we talked to Johnny Geis about it. What's the best topwater baits of all time?
And underlying baits.
Yeah.
It's not just one.
No.
Okay, but let's do this. Let's do this first. Pick your one. Let's pick one.
I say Zara Spook.
Okay.
For just catching a lot of fish, I'm going to say the chug bug.
Does buzzbait count?
That's mine.
Dang.
That's why I sit there when Johnny said something that made me think about that. He said, if you find somebody that can really work the spook, I would go with the spook, except when you look at the big scheme of anglers out there, weekend anglers, not tournament, everybody, there's a ton of people that can't work a spook.
I agree.
Properly.
Oh, Steve Nichols is on to it. Steve Nichols just texted me. He said the boy howdy.
Boy, that's an oldie but goodie.
I'm just telling you that
all of those, and he's. I thought one of the first things I thought was one of the stick prop baits, from old days.
Yeah.
But I still think that it still takes somebody a little skill, a little wrist finesse.
What about a rogue?
To all of that, it takes a little skill to work the bait.
Rogue's
And a
not
buzz
top
bait,
water.
you
The
just throw it
buzz
wide.
bait,
Yeah.
all you've got to do is get it on top. I'm going to say, as far as everyday anglers catching fish, the buzz bait is probably the best for everybody.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fish producer.
Yeah.
I got another one.
Well,
too.
you talk about oldies and goodies. Mark Weldon just texted me. He said the Head and Lucky 13.
Well, it's old.
Golly.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, find somebody's got one in their box.
Exactly.
Man,
I'll tell you another bait.
That Lucky 13 is laying right there next to your river run. Remember that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Golly.
Pico perch.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. The Yellow Magic. Yellow Magic.
Yeah.
I would
Great
have to
top
say that probably one of the best ones out there right now, just for catching fish, is the yellow magic.
Okay,
You wanna
now tell
tie
me,
one
do you
on-
like the big one or the little one, Mike?
The little one, I guess.
I like the small one.
Yeah.
Do you? See, I like that bigger one better. I don't know why. It just seems now. There's certain applications for each of them. But I'm going to go. Bubba Hadaway says the old hula popper. Boy,
Again,
there was.
there's not but like 0.2 anglers in the world.
The question was not what's the best antique topwater bait of all time.
Well, it doesn't matter if it was from
Lord.
100 years ago
Oh,
or
it's
if it's.
antique.
Well, it does
Popping
too,
up.
because you're not catching fish on it now.
They might be.
Yeah, that's.
They might be.
Yeah. These baits that you've called out, I guarantee you, I'm like, Mike, find one in somebody's tackle box.
Well, let's see. I'm thinking about what's out there now. Pop R is still there. Yellow Magic.
Pop R is
to
good.
me, though, if I was going to throw a popping kind of a bait like that, it'd be the Yellow Magic over the Pop R.
What would you say is the newest trend?
Newest prop. You know what? Around here with Salvinia, it's got to be the frog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Spro popping frog or the regular
Yeah.
frog. Yeah, I agree.
Now, tell me, have you thrown that popping frog at all, Mike? Do you throw a frog ever?
No.
I didn't think you did.
You don't throw frog? Really?
Mike's
law.
Mike's one of those kind of people. If
It's like
Mike lives for the bite, he loves
I do.
that when they pick
My
it up.
brother is the same way. He will throw a topwater down there in the Gulf until he is blue in the face, and I don't care.
But I live for the detecting the bite.
Yeah, Mike lives for that.
That's the reason,
Watching
that's
the
the
line
reason I
jump.
like throwing that. What did Johnny have me throwing? That spoon. Over I like to detect a bite on a slack line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
Anybody
too.
can feel a bite on a spinner bait,
Right.
And I'm not saying
Or a
there's anything wrong with it,
crankbait.
and pull something on top and see the explosion, and I love all that. But there's just something about detecting that slack line bait.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I know this is a deviation from the topic here, but Mike does this a lot. What is the best advice you would give a novice angler who's fishing, a beaver, a worm, jig, whatever, something on bottom, when the wind is blowing like it is today? You got 20-mile-an-hour winds. What's the best advice you would give them as far as trying to fish and detect that? You got to up your weight size. You fish different. You try to get out of the wind. What would you tell them?
Never
a
get out.
novice angler.
Yeah.
Never get out of the wind.
Right.
No.
Never,
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can fish braid, braid is more sensitive, and you get a better hook set.
Yeah.
This time of year, your water's cleared up enough, unless you're one of those really dyed-in-the-wools, and I know Steve Nichols does it, fishes with braid with a
Leader.
fluorocarbon leader,
Yeah.
which is great. If you can fish with braid, do that first. If you can't, fish with fluorocarbon. You can feel the bites.
Right.
Use tungsten weights.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate them. I hate to pay for them.
Oh, me and you both.
But I am thoroughly convinced you get more bites
No doubt.
with tungsten weight, or you detect more. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but I will not fish without tungsten weight. All of that being said, the biggest thing is I always use except in cold weather, which I don't fish during cold weather, so rule that out. You shouldn't fish during the winter. You should be duck hunting.
It's the 11th
Not on this,
commandment.
no. Stay off of there. Is use a heavier weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always use the heaviest weight you can get by with.
Start out heavy, lighten up if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
I
only
agree
time
with
I go to a lightweight right now is when we're starting to get so much crap on the bottom of the lakes.
Right.
The dead salvinia and stuff, the debris, the black snotty looking
Why
stuff.
do you say go with the heaviest weight you can? What's your rationale behind that?
Because once the water warms up, you can throw it further. it goes. You got more of a vertical fall.
Mm-hmm.
When you land beside the tree, if the difference in your weight can determine whether that bait winds up on the bottom 1 foot from the base of that tree or 3 feet.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the difference in a fish biting it or not.
Right.
And
also, under pressured, I've got the floor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Also,
Turn
under
my mic off, Jay.
pressured conditions, if that bait goes right down in front of that fish, it's falling faster. They react to it without looking at it. Plus, you don't overwork it.
Yeah.
You can shake your line. I heard somebody on TV. I hate to quote somebody else because I'm such an expert, but I heard somebody else say on a fishing show, fish the line, not the bait. Fish the line, not the lure.
Yeah.
And if you've got a big weight, you can shake your line and not advance your bait away from the tree.
Right.
You can actually
especially on boathouses.
Yes, you can impart action, make it wiggle or something without it moving away. The longer a bait stays in front of a fish, the more apt that a non-active fish is to pick it up. Now, you can talk now, Steve.
And I'm going to emphasize with the story here, Mike's point about the weight.
Yeah.
I'm at Toledo Bend 2 weeks ago. I'm throwing my trick worm with a 3/16, and I wasn't getting bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you are power fishing.
Yeah, which was rare on the trick worm. I normally get bit on that.
He does.
So and I went to a quarter, still wasn't getting bit, and I said, "Dang!" So I went to a 3/8, and immediately started getting bites.
Wow.
That faster fall that Mike alluded to, that reaction bite, totally changed whether I was going to catch fish or not.
I'll be
In a
darned.
matter of 3 casts, I started getting bites on the 3/8.
So does color matter as much as weight matters?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
I think instead of taking 4 rods and putting 4 different baits on them, that if you've got a bait that you really know you're confident in, you know the fish have been biting on, you can take that same bait, put it on 4 rods with 4 different weights, and you can figure the fish out quicker than you can with 4 different types of baits on there.
Now, I can tell you where this rule took exception. David Parker. I'm tying on 3 different jig sizes at Texoma one day. Parker comes out on the porch. What are you doing, Graf? I'm tying on some jigs. As in plural? I said, yeah. He said, why? I said, well, I got a 1/4 ounce, David, on this one. I got a 3/8 and I got a half. He's like, why? I was like, well, in case they want something heavier. He said, Graf, there ain't but one jig to throw. It's a 9/16. If it ain't 9/16, don't tie it on.
I'm gonna tell you right.
Like, so he wanted to go heavy. He wanted heavy.
If Jeff Pate doesn't text me right now, there's something wrong with the radio. Because to the best of my knowledge, I don't think Pate has anything that weighs less than 9/16.
Yeah, Parker was avid. He was avid about. He didn't even mince words on that deal.
Well,
He thought I was crazy.
it deviated a little bit from the topwater thing, but there's a time and a place for that. And the topwater discussion, this is that time of the year. The Salvinia's been out there. I would imagine Bistineau's down
5 feet.
5 feet.
Wow.
So it won't be long. It won't be long that there's going to be a lot of people that are finding, a little bit of the Salvinia that's kind of ganged up, and there's going to be a lot of frog fishing and some of those little sloughs that might still be holding a little bit of water. But, for all intents and purposes, most of this summer, not like the last couple of years because they've let it down so early, most of this summer, if you're a Bistineau fisherman, you're going to be pretty well relegated to the channel, right? And, I'm going to say, 1 or 2 baits would be all I would throw down there at that time. It would either be, some type of a bottom lure, like, a worm, jig, or a crankbait. That'd be it. And I honestly think that, that this summer could be one of the best summers ever for just a recreational angler. I hope people that won't go to Bistineau and just rape it.
They will.
Yeah, you're going to have those people that do that.
I don't understand that.
And I honestly believe the fact that people have taken so many illegal fish out of Bistineau over the last 5-10 years while they've been draining it, and say illegal, when you take out an ice chest full, that's illegal. But what they have done is they've reduced the population of the fish, which is the reason that the overall size of fish has increased on Lake Bistineau. So for a plus, for tournament fishermen with weight, the drawdown and the people catching too many fish has helped. How many years can the lake actually hold up to that, though?
Yeah.
You know what? I have a new piece of legislation I'd like to introduce.
Okay.
For every bass you take out during the drawdown, you got to take one grinnell or a jackfish with you. If you take one out, you got to take a grinnell or a jackfish too.
Okay. I can do that. I'm not going to take anything out. But,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, hooking up and tracking down. Sit tight now. David Croissant wants to talk a little bit about the CCA. He's next. 11:30. The Tiger.
Charlie Daniels yelling, turn it up. They raised her up a lady, but there's one thing they couldn't avoid. Ladies love country boys.
Hello, everybody. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page at Hookin' Up and Trackin' Down Show for outdoors news and some great video tips. This segment is presented by Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis, Toledo Town and Tackle, United Rentals, and Santone Lures, keeping anglers in the winner's circle with the best jigs and spinnerbaits available today. Now there's a place these guys don't see very often, the winner's circle. Here's Steve, Gary, and Mike.
Hey, do you want to know what's on the minds of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show guys? Well, check out our blog page at HUTDshow.com. If there's one thing we're not short on, it's an opinion. Well, that's usually Eccles. You'll hear straight from the horses' mouths how we feel about certain issues pertaining to the outdoors. So whether you agree or disagree, you'll at least know where we stand on the issues at hand. So go to HUTDshow.com for our latest blog and so much more. HUTDshow.com, the best resource for outdoor news and information.
Yep. That's the facts, Jack.
David Croissant from the CCA. Hey, how are things lining out so far with the Star Tournament, David?
Oh my gosh! Hey, how y'all doing, guys? Thanks
Good.
for having me. It really looks great, fellas. The Star Tournament starts this weekend. It cannot be end of May just yet. Didn't we just have New Year's last week?
Yeah, it was just 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Christmas break.
But the summer is here. The Star Tournament starts this weekend. We've doubled down on it this year, guys. Instead of 50 redfish like we normally tag and put out, we've put out 100 this year. That means there'll be twice as many ways for you to win a couple of brand new Chevy pickup trucks, a brand new Nautic Star bay boat. There'll be 100 redfish swimming around. We've got 50 speckled trout swimming around with tags in it. All come with great prizes if you catch them. We've got divisions from speckled trout to offshore species, kids divisions, ladies divisions, the kayak divisions, bank fishing divisions, and just about everything else you can imagine.
Now, David, what if somebody catches a previously tagged fish from, say, 2 years back or whatever?
Well, we're going to give you a nice rod and reel, and thank you for calling us. But
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
I like a rod and reel.
I'll take that.
We'll give you a rod and reel, and we appreciate the call. We do use the information and make it part of our tagging program.
Right.
But but you got to catch one from 2017. I put some out last week, so I can assure you they're put in places that we want them to be caught. Last year we had 50 tagged redfish, and 8 of them were caught. Think about the percentage there. That's almost a 20. What is that? Just barely less than 20% of those fish were caught that were swimming around. So, but unfortunately, all 8 of them were caught by unregistered anglers.
Oh no!
To have to call somebody and say, you know, if you'd have spent $30 on the Star tournament, you'd be picking up your brand new pickup truck right now from Chevrolet. So if your listeners are within the sound of my voice, you need to make sure you go to ccAlouisiana.com before this weekend, sign up for the Star tournament. It's only $30. It's 103 days long, I believe, this year. And golly, you just do not want to be one of those poor folks who gets that call saying that you're not registered, so you don't win. It happens every year. It's a tough call to make. $30, ccAlouisiana.com, join the Star tournament, and you won't be sorry.
Well, David, if you're releasing 100 tagged fish into the ocean,
that's right,
and anglers are catching 20% of them, y'all are doing an incredible. Well,
that's right. You're right.
Y'all are doing it.
That ocean's kind of big.
Well, look, we put them in places where we know people fish. Listen, this is a membership program for us. We do this so that we can, earn membership for CCA, and so we want people to catch these fish. We put them. Look, I'm going to tell you right now on live radio, there are fish at the Caminada Rocks in Grand Isle. There are fish at the most popular places in Big Lake. There are fish in the most popular places in Venice and Vermilion Bay and Cocodrie and Dulac and Dularge. You name the community holes, and that's where the fish have been put.
Well, David, I just
because we want them to be caught.
Right, I just got back from Galveston and fished Christmas Bay, Galveston Bay. We were wade fishing, and you're right. It's a lot like bass fishing in the respect that there are only still certain areas where those redfish live. And my brother knew those areas, and cause I'm thinking this vast body of ocean water. How do you know where to go? But he knew where to go.
Well, the way fishermen know where to go is they talk to other fishermen who caught them last week, and that's where they go. I was tagging fish earlier this week on Monday, actually, and I'm going to tell you, there were 30 boats within sight of me fishing the same area. So my point is we're putting these where people can catch them. We're not trying to hide them from you. They swim around, so they're hard enough to catch as it is, but we're putting them in places where there's a good opportunity to catch them. And
it does.
If you're going to fish any of those places this weekend, I would recommend Star Ticket.
It does you or the program no good, David. It does you or the program no good if nobody catches any of these fish.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's not like something. Oh, we're going to put it out there and advertise, but we really hope nobody catches them because then we're going to go broke. That's not the way this program works.
Well, you know what boosts our membership more than anything else is when somebody wins one of those brand new boats and we're able to talk about it. And other people go and sign up. So we want them to be taught. Again, this is it's a great program, and there's literally no limit to the ways that you can win. And so if you're fishing any saltwater or brackish water this summer, I would highly recommend to you that you get a Star ticket, because I sure don't want to have to call you and tell you that you missed out on a brand new Chevrolet pickup truck or brand new Nautic Star Bay boat.
Okay, David, now you got to dumb it down, because we're kind of, like backwoods redneck kind of people. Dumb it down. Give me in the easiest explanation just how hard it is to get registered for the CCA, because I know you might have to go on the internet or something.
You don't even have to go on the internet. You can just make a phone call to 225-952-9200 right now and get signed up over the phone. 225-952-9200, or you can go to the internet, ccAlouisiana.com, and right on that home page is a big button that says Join the Star Tournament, and it'll take you about a minute or so. You'll get an email confirmation which you can use as your Star ticket, and you're off and running. That's all it takes. It really is about a 1-minute proposition, and that 1 minute could win you a brand new boat or truck.
Okay, now David, is there a place? Let's just say that I was headed down there to Venice this weekend, and I'm going to go fishing. Is there a place there that while I'm there, I could sign up there in Venice or maybe in Hackberry or somewhere?
Yeah,
all the main marinas in any of those places in Venice, Cypress Cove and Venice Marina, Delta Marina, they all have sign-up sheets, in Grand Isle Bridgeside and Fouchon Marina and Pirates Cove all have it. In Big Lake, all the main boat launches and marinas have it. So you go to your favorite places around the coast where you like to launch your boat or buy your bait, and there's a very, very high likelihood that they're going to have a star book right there for you to sign up. So, that's an easy way to do it too, and you could take care of it right there on the spot.
And because you're winning a new truck and all that kind of stuff, the registration's got to be like $400 or $500, right?
It's $30. Yeah, you sure you guys don't know the answers to these questions?
How much is it?
$30.
Whoa, stop. Wait, you got to go slow now. Remember, we're old backwoods ready. Did you say $30 and that'll win me a truck?
Yeah.
$30? Eccles charges $200 to fish in a tournament up here, and you're $30 and I can win a truck?
Yeah.
$30. Wait a minute, $30.
Yeah. Even better than that, kids are free. So if you're a kid under the age of 17, you don't have to pay at all.
Wow.
There you go.
Star tournament. That's courtesy of our great sponsors that make it possible. So if you've got a kid with you this weekend, shame on you if you don't sign them up for the Star Tournament.
Right.
The only thing worse than calling an adult and telling them they didn't win a truck or a boat would be calling a kid and telling them.
Oh,
There you
God. Can you imagine that phone call?
Well, David, let's
It's happened.
let's move on to another topic. Big Lake oyster reefs and new artificial reef. Is that something CCA is involved with?
Yeah, well, there's a couple different issues there. There's legislation at the state capitol this week that would help rebuild the decimated oyster reefs in Big Lake. This is an issue that CCA has been working closely on. Something we've been monitoring for years. The reefs at the southern end of that lake have just been decimated by a number of things. Overharvest by the oyster industry is one of them. Water quality conditions or another. All sorts of hydrology problems, etc. But what we've asked the state legislature to do is consider a bill that would remove oyster dredging as an allowable harvest method. These dredges are kind of like big rakes, for lack of a better term, that they drag behind the boats and they dislodge the oysters and collect them into a sack. But unfortunately, what they do also is they knock down the vertical structure of these reefs. And the vertical structure of the reefs is what creates such great habitat, not only for the oysters, but for everything that lives in Big Lake. It helps with the water quality, it helps with the filtering mechanism of the oysters, etc. And when those reefs are sort of flattened out, spread out, where they are spread out, those oysters are susceptible to predators, susceptible to disease. There's just lots of problems that occur when they're sitting in mud. So we want to see these dredges removed and make it to where the oyster industry still has great access to the oysters through hand tonging, which is the way it's been historically done for ages around Louisiana. So
Right.
There's not going to be an oyster season in Big Lake next year with all likelihood. So we want to see the oyster industry thrive. We want to see those reefs rebuilt, and we want to see the entire estuary in Big Lake come back to life, and the health of these oyster reefs is part of that. And on a second note, sort of related, CCA is going to build a brand new artificial reef in the southern part of Big Lake. It's going to be named the Big Jack's Reef in honor of one of CCA's founders, Jack Lawton Sr., who passed away just a couple of years ago. It's going to be in the southern end of Lake Calcasieu Lake. It'll be made of recycled concrete and limestone. It'll cover several acres. It'll be a great place for people to go fishing. A partnership between CCA and Wildlife and Fisheries, Shell Oil, and a great project that'll create some wonderful habitat and
Well, David,
help that lake recover.
We're up against the clock, and folks, if you want to learn more about these projects, go to cca.com for more information about these things. David, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good to talk to you.
All right.
David Cresson from the CCA. If you haven't joined yet, if you're headed that direction, make sure you go to cca.com. Check that out. You can also go to CCA Star and read more about the Star Tournament. We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Welcome back to another hour of first-class outdoors radio entertainment. This segment is presented by Ranger Boats, Sam Rayburn Marina Resort, Commercial Power Equipment, and the Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash Series. Go to SeeleyOutdoors.com to learn more or to register for the next Seeley Big Bass Tournament. Here's Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and the Dink Master himself, Steve Graff.
We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger. Gary McCoy along with the old Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff. Mike Eccles in the house. On the phone, Randy Howell, Elite Series Pro Randy Howell, who is no stranger to the show. We always have a great time with Randy on the show. But this time you're actually really close to us because you're at Heartland 1010 Ranch.
All right, that's right. We're actually just leaving Juicy's Hamburgers up here in Marshall, Texas. Had a good little lunch, and fish weren't biting too good this morning after all this rain and cold front. So we come to get us something to eat. But
hey, let me tell you what, you picked a great place. Juicy's got the best hamburger on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh man, they do. I've been waiting to come back up here because we ate here last time we were here too. But I tell you, over here, Heartland 1010 Ranch, Dr. Tommy Brown, he's got a great facility over here, man, and it's wide open to the public and really affordable. Like if you go get a guide like on a lake or whatever, you spend $350, $400. You can pay $350 and come over here for a day. You and your buddy or your son or daughter or whatever, and Craig, his son, will take you out on the boat and kind of guide you and hold the trolling motor for you. And you pretty much guaranteed to catch some big bass in this lake. We're trying to do a little show, me and Robin, a little show the catch with Randy and Robin, but boy, it's rained 6 or 7 inches, cold rain, and these Florida straight bass just don't like it. And it's so muddy we couldn't even take our big boat and put it in the water, so we've been fishing out of their little boats, but we're still having a good time. We got one afternoon left, and then we'll be done.
Randy, have you seen a deer?
Anything you'd want to shoot?
my boys' mouths are watering. They love to kill some deer, man, and that's all they can talk about. They keep saying they don't understand how the pay to kill a deer program works. Like, can we come back over here hunting season and kill one of these deer, Dad? I'm like, no, I don't think so. We're going to stick to the little Alabama deer, man. These big Texas deer are expensive, but boy, there's some big ones.
You know what's so funny is I gave my son a trip over there with Mike Eccles at my son's graduation. I said, what do you want? And he says, I'd like to make a trip over there. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. So we go over there, and we were catching a lot of fish. Eccles was hogging the front of the boat.
Oh, well. And yeah, he was.
At any rate, all of a sudden, it was like the action just stopped in the back of the boat. My son wasn't doing anything. He'd been casting and all of a sudden, he looks and he says, I said, buddy, are you okay? And he's like, Dad, look. And these bucks were coming out single file. I know there was like 10 minutes worth of them as they were walking up the side of this hill from down in the bottom. It was hysterical.
Well, Randy, one of the things we wanted to talk about today, but of course, when I format the show and I get to the studio, these two guys beside me said, no, we're not talking about that today. So it's been altered. I wanted to talk about strategies for scouting, but Eccles has something I think he would rather talk about today instead.
Well, and we can't get it any better from you, Randy, but the format for the well, first off, the Elite Tournament and the Bass Fest. What did y'all just fish, or was it a combination?
Yeah, it was Texas Toyota Bass Fest. Is kind of what they called it. It was our normal Bassmaster Elite Series Bass Fest, which we fish every year. Last year it was at Texoma, but this year the difference in the regular format was we had a catch and immediate release of the fish. So the Texas Toyota Bass Classic, which has always been a standalone event for Toyota, that event was kind of combined with Bassmaster Bass Fest. So now Toyota and the Texas Parks and Wildlife Group that have always done the catch and release format, when we've had on Conroe and on Lake Fork and those events. So they combined it and kind of went a little bit toward the MLF style in a way too, because they've got all the scales from MLF, bought 120 scales or whatever. So every boat had a judge and a trained judge, and every fish that we caught in the tournament, we weighed it with the judge and logged it and signed off on it and released it. Unless it was a 21-inch fish, and everybody was able to bring 121-inch fish in to the weigh-in just for show for Parks and Wildlife. So it actually turned out pretty good. We didn't have any hiccups in it. It all went good. Everybody's scales, they tested them all. Everybody checked them, and I'm telling you, it was a smooth event. And I was in the top. I was in fourth going into the third day, and then I didn't catch them good. I just had a small 11-pound limit. I dropped to 20th. Unfortunately, missed the 12 cut. The fish on the finals by a pound and a half. But otherwise, the event itself, it just went off without a hitch. It had a lot of good exposure, a lot of good internet, live, all the stuff went real good. A lot of interest in that for the conservation effort, I think, of just releasing that many fish when we catch them. Because, warm, hot weather events like that, post-spawn events, you have a lot of fish die, and typically in the live well. And so we didn't have any fish die in this event at all, and that was kind of unusual, and it's kind of a good effort on Bass's part to kind of move along with the new age that we're in now of being more conservation minded.
Randy, how many of the FLW guys, how do they determine what FLW guys come to this event? Is it the top 30, top 25?
No, it's no FLW guy. This is a Bassmaster only event.
Oh, yeah. So the Texas Bass Fest, which has been FLW and a combination of the two, this year it was different.
That's right. Yeah, that event totally went away, so to speak. That was they did it for 10 years, and then Toyota decided to combine that type of event with Bassmaster Elite Series Bass Fest. So that way, when they did that, it just eliminated anybody else being in it other than the normal Bassmaster Elite Series guys. So it was one of our regular points tournaments, with our same 108 anglers that we have in all the other events. That was the only difference was just the way they were weighed and released, and then also Toyota adds more payout to it. So they paid everybody got a check, all 108 guys. I think they paid $3,000 check from 75th all the way to 108. So you could have a terrible term and you still got paid that one.
Well, Randy, you mentioned 100 and something sets of identical scales, and then the same number of trained marshals for the boat. While I agree that this is a great, great move on organization's part for conservation, this is not something that every tournament can go to.
That's right.
You just can't. You can't pull it off.
Yeah, that's what I think. And it was a lot of nervousness on the anglers' parts, and I'm one of them, because we're dealing with a lot of money and a lot of points for the classic for the year. You got 108 different scales out there weighing fish, and all your mind wonders is what if this guy's scale is weighing heavy, or what if this guy's scale or my scale is weighing light, and there's just and every day they made everybody feel better, because every day when you come in, you come back through the line, they had the 5-pound weight in the bag that weighs 5 pounds even on there, and you hook your scale on there and test it every day. And they said every single scale weighed perfect every day, before and after, and which is really impressive of that scale. But still, just doing that overall for a regular event, it's not something that they're looking to change over to. I just think it's going to be done as a specialty exhibition type event, just to do something different. And Bass even said in their meeting, if it went well and it went off without a hitch, they may look into doing it more in the future, where possibly having 1 day or 2 days of a regular event being a catch and release deal, and then the 50 and the 12 being a normal bring the fish into the weigh-in type event.
Doesn't that kind of take away though from the show and your opportunity to highlight your sponsors, and for you to be up on the stage and thank those people?
We still went on stage. Everybody went on stage every day, just as if they had fish.
Right.
They lined up. They called the next thing. Yeah, we walked on the stage, and they had it in a rodeo arena, and we walked up there, and your weight comes up on the screen, and a picture or whatever on the screen with your jersey, and then you kind of talk, and they ask you, just like basically we talked and did everything. We just didn't have a fish unless you had one over 21 to hold up. And so that part was good, but still the part of the show, bringing fish in that we've always done, that's still a big part of the crowd coming and watching in person. And Bass, that's why Bass don't want to go away from that, I know, because they've got a lot of paying sponsors that pay for that expo space.
If they did, at the going to this, I could see like day 1 or day 2 maybe, because the crowds. Let's be honest, the crowds are usually down on those first 2 days. It's the 3rd and 4th day when they really pick up. So
that's right.
If they do it, I can see it only doing, like you said, 1 or 2 days early.
But you know what? That to me as an angler, when you've really stroked them, that's part of it. Standing there with that weigh-in sack, knowing, I got this. I mean, that's that.
But another side of that is I don't have to keep them suckers alive.
Well, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's good arguments both directions on there, because I'm torn like that too. I'm like you're saying. I like to have that bag of fish, and you call them, you proud of them, go in there and show them off, and like the first day of that event, I had 23. I had 24 pounds. Let's see what I have, 24 something, almost 25 pounds, and that's a big bag for me, man. I was excited, and I brought the 1 6-pound 2-ouncer in, but I still felt weird when I walked on stage, and the weight 24 pound pops up, and otherwise I could be holding 2 or 3 big fish up all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Miss out on that part. So there is a part of that. Then the other side too, those big fish were all skinny and post-spawn. One of them was bleeding when I released it, and I had two fish, maybe even 3 fish. Dead penalty would have been 12 ounces off that day if they had a half or 2. So there's kind of good and bad in both of those scenarios.
Well, I'm going to say something on behalf, as a tournament director, but on behalf of all tournament anglers. I know there is an issue with the fish mortality in these events, and the complaints generally come from the general public and bystanders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go on record as saying I don't care if it's 5% mortality, if it's 7% mortality in a fishing tournament. Majority of the time, the complaints we get are from people who create 100% mortality. The anglers, the fishermen that go out and catch and eat and keep everything they catch. These are big time. These are the people that are complaining. We released 90, 95, 96, 98% back alive. You're releasing none back alive. So although I know it's something you got to deal with, we have to deal with it over here on local level tournaments. But it just doesn't bother me as much when have some people walk up and say, "Oh, y'all are killing all these fish." Well, so what? You're filleting them and eating.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
Right.
So.
Okay, I got one last question. Eccles brought up something before we let you go. Something about a fish that maybe got released.
Yeah, I forgot that.
that didn't need to be released too quickly.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, it was the second morning, and I was catching them on a jerk bait, Livingston jerk bait on this grass line, and man, they were biting, and the wind was blowing hard. They had the bassmaster.com photo guys out there taking pictures to do a photo gallery, and I like my second fish was a 6 to 8, and he jumped and fought. Man, I was all excited. I was on a jerk bait, and you get one in, you don't lose it. That's the blessing there in itself. And I grabbed him and held him up, taking pictures, and we weigh it, and I'm all, shaking and jittery, and the wind's blowing me up in there on top of him, and I'm like, wanting to hurry and get back out there. We ride it down, weigh it, and I put him back in the water because he was bleeding a little bit, and I put him in the water and just let him go and stood back up, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, oh, damn it, I'm supposed to have kept that fish, and so at this point, it really was more of a problem for me because I didn't have one to show off right in that day when I come in that day, and they weren't real happy about it. And their trip, and Chuck called me over there and said, that afternoon, said, you're supposed to bring a fish in, and why'd you let that fish go? And I said, well, it was an honest mistake. Something we're not used to doing already, so I don't really know. The excitement got away with me, and my judge is supposed to be there to kind of tell you and stay on top of everything, and that guy was just excited as I was. It seemed like when I called that fish.
I bet he was.
He forgot too. So anyway, no harm, no foul. He fished live. At least he didn't. I know if I'd kept him all day, it was first thing that morning. He was actually a really beat up looking fish, and he might not have lived either. So I told him that, and it was all good. But I didn't ever get another one that big to bring in after that. So that was the disappointing part.
Well, let me ask you a question, Randy. If you had put that fish in a live well, and it had died, would you have been, in this format, would you have been penalized a dead fish penalty?
No, and they told us in the meeting, they were real adamant about it, that they wanted us to bring the fish in, and if the fish did die, to either, you had ice, you could put him on ice and bring him in that way, or whatever. But you wouldn't get a dead fish penalty. And that part didn't really. I mean, that part didn't make sense why they want you to bring one in if it's dead, or if you think it's going to die. You know, you're not going to get a penalty, but still, you ain't going to bring them. He's not going to let you hold up a dead one anyway if it dies.
Well, you had to wiggle it in the air and make it look alive.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, you got to.
Hey, Randy, tell Robin we said hello.
I will. I'm standing out here in the parking lot talking to him, so waiting on me. So we timed it out to be up here with a good phone signal, so I can talk to you guys.
Well, we hope you get to rip them this afternoon, brother, and get some good footage for the show.
I appreciate that, man. It's good talking to you. I appreciate.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you so much, Randy Howell, Elite Series Pro Randy Howell on the show. What a nice guy, and I mean every time.
What's he doing hanging around us?
Exactly. You know, there's got to be something important. You know, that's got to be way more pressing than us. We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
St. Matthew 4:19 to life.
Folks, tell your friends that if they miss today's show, they can catch us again Saturday morning from 6 till 8. And make sure to download Radio Pup to your iPhone, iPad, or other listening device. This segment presented by Daiwa Rods and Reels, Red River Waterway Commission, Seagar Fishing Line, and United Rentals, providing heavy or light-duty equipment and tools for any and all size contractors. Once again, here's Gary, Steve, and Mike. Take it away, guys.
Want to hear more of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show? Tune in Saturday mornings from 6 till 8, where you'll hear interviews from the greatest anglers in the world as they share tips and tactics with the wittiest and smartest guys in radio, Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and Steve Graff. Tune in from 6 to 8 Saturday mornings right here on 1130 The Tiger, the home of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show.
You know, I actually had gotten a text about this from Brett Thomas last week. His, I want to say his son had competed in the national championships. My son Trevor. They did this in Louisville, Kentucky. It's the NASP National Tournament. And I think that's National Archery in the Schools program is what that's in there for. Anyway, Benton Elementary captured the elementary national championship in the National Archery in Schools program. It was in Louisville, Kentucky, May 11th through the 13th. Second time a Louisiana school has won the national title. Benton Middle won it the first time in 2016, taking the middle school national championship. And then Benton Elementary this year with over 79 other schools represented on that.
179.
Did I say 79? Yeah. 179. Anyway, you think about this. Benton Middle, Benton Elementary, 2 years in a row. How many archers are you talking about there? and these kids are just drilling it. I mean, they're shooting in the two.
You're talking 14,492 archers.
They're shooting in the 290s.
Yeah.
Do you know why these kids in Benton are so good? Because most of the time they're practicing holding a spotlight.
They're raised in this. They're born to shoot
That's a joke.
Yeah. Also, the school finished 5th in the NASP IBO 3D Championship. Benton Elementary and other Louisiana schools taking part in the national tournament are part of the Archery in Louisiana Schools program. Kingston Elementary School, just 7 miles from Benton, placed second in bullseye behind Benton. Kingston also placed second in the 3D portion of the tournament. Kingston finished just 25 points behind Benton in bullseye, only 22 back in 3D. Now, one of the kids we want to recognize is Aiden Jones of Houghton Middle School. Bossier Parish in the house, baby.
They are.
He placed second in the middle school division, and from what I was told, he recorded the highest score ever by a Louisiana archery at the national tournament. Shot a 297. That's 300 possible.
Exactly.
He shoots a 297. Finished second in the male middle school division. Only 3 archers fired a higher score at the tournament at 298. Placed him in the top 5 male shooters. He scored a 49 out of 50 at the shoot-off, sending him to another single arrow shoot-off. He came away with a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of New Archery Products. 2 other Louisiana archers also brought home individual awards. Hannah McKenzie of Benton Elementary, third amongst elementary school females, and Madeline Lowry, also of Benton Elementary, placed 4th in 3D. 14,492 archers there, and Benton Elementary just
Crushed
rocked the
Crushed
house.
it. Also, it's Boating and Safety Week this weekend. To report an accident, if you're on the water and looking, okay, who do I call? What do I need to do? The operator must give his name, his or her number. Excuse me. Let's start this all over. The operator must give his or her name, address, and identifying number of his or her vessel in writing to anyone injured from an incident and to the owner of any damaged property.
You ever had a boat accident?
Have I had a boat accident? Let me think.
You ever had one, Mike?
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope, I can't say that I've had.
I
I have clipped, and if you look coming out of Cool Point, and you turn to run to Texas, and there's a pole leaning at a 45.
You did that?
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Pro Gator pole.
You made that.
You've been on Caddo one time in your life and you tore stuff up.
He made that turn. He made that turn and power slid in.
Yeah, we did a little power slide. Randy Fair was with me. He's on his side, so we had to go
now
back.
we know what's wrong with Randy.
He had to go back and change pants.
You know what? I was in a boat accident one time with Andy Deloney. We were on Caddo in the Ames Spring Basin, and we were riding along, and he was like, right over there is where them fish are. Boom! Ran right into the channel marker on the side of the boat. Well,
I can't say nothing.
He didn't crack the gel coat or anything. We sure hit that blasted channel marker. I forgot
a lot of times on like cloudy days,
yeah,
low light, some of those, the wooden creosote poles,
yeah,
the gray just blends
into
the water.
No doubt.
And
that's what I'm blaming it on.
And I'll tell you something else that happens occasionally. People get on plane. The boat raises up.
Can't see.
And they lose sight of a pole or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little heads up. If you're going to spend any time on Caddo Memorial Day weekend this weekend, if you don't hug those channel markers too close.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of places where the old channel marker broke off below the water level, and they've put a new one up. You know, it might be 10, 15 feet away from the old one. And I see a lot of people crowding those, especially in the bend of, one of the channels. Don't crowd it too. Obviously, you don't want to get too far off of it. But don't crowd it too close because some of those old channel markers are still down there.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people on Red River, which is, Lord, how would you hit a buoy on Red River? It's right in the middle of it. You can't miss it. Well, it's not that you're hitting a buoy, but in high water situations where there's floaters coming down the river, they get hung up on those cables.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're hugging those buoys, you're susceptible to take a lower unit out.
You know what?
With a laydown.
That's another thing. in these big Salvinia rafts.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Be careful,
going into
when you're
those.
going through because there are floaters that are in there, and you can't see the log
Lot of
because
times-
the Salvinia's all got it all
And a
around
lot of
it.
times that's why the Salvinia is piled up.
Yeah.
Something has stopped it from progressing.
Yeah.
And it could be a log.
Just careful there.
So we got the Boss Championship come up. Can I talk about that, or are you still reading something?
Let me give them the number,
Okay.
Mike. The number to report an incident to the LDWF or the LED, which is Fisher's Law Enforcement Division, is 800-442-2511. And the driver is, again, 800-442-2511. The driver of any vessel involved in a collision, crash, or other casualty, as described previously, must forward a department-approved incident report form within 5 days to the LDWF. So I didn't know that.
And if you're on Cross Lake and you have an accident, somebody gets hurt, you have to report something. A lot of people don't know who to call.
Yeah.
But Cross Lake is under the control of the Shreveport Police Department.
Right.
So you just dial 911,
Yeah.
and they'll ask what type of emergency. You tell them, I'm on Cross Lake. Somebody's fallen out of the boat. Somebody's got hurt, whatever. And they'll send y'all, they will direct the call to the Lake Patrol.
And this
Couldn't
is
you
a
call?
huge-
Couldn't you call 911 if you were on Red River and had an accident?
Yeah, they will dispatch you to the Sheriff's Department.
That's what I was thinking.
And this is a huge weekend coming up, with Memorial Day weekend. It's a big water weekend, so be safe out there, guys.
Okay, Boss Championship. Not this weekend, but
June
next
3rd,
weekend.
June 3rd and 4th. Listen up and tell your friends. It's in print. The lake is off limits 5 days. That's Monday through Friday. And yes, we know that Monday is a holiday. The lake is off limits 5 days. Just because it's a holiday doesn't mean it's a law that you've got to go fishing. You can practice Saturday. You can practice Sunday. You can go to another lake Monday. You can stay home and barbecue with your family. But the lake is off limits Monday through Friday. The other thing, if you
Now, and I want you to clarify that. You may not be on the water.
you cannot be on the water. You can't be out there water skiing. You can't be out there running your boat to test it. You cannot be on Cattle
There is
Lake.
also a no information
That's
rule.
right. You're not to receive information from a non-competitor. That means if somebody starts talking to you, you stop them. You ask them, are you fishing the Boss Championship? If they say no, you stop the conversation. You cannot control if somebody starts talking to you.
Right.
But you can say, hey, stop.
Yeah.
If you don't know that they're a non-competitor or not, you ask them. And I know it's a gray area, but that's just the way it is. If not, if we didn't have this rule here, you would have anglers that had their buddies out there that weren't fishing
All week.
Fishing all week and give them the information.
Sure.
It's hard to police.
And it's
but-
going to be on the polygraph.
yeah, it is, absolutely. So the other thing is the way we're doing the Boss Championship, we're giving away 2 Ranger boats. First off, things people need to know, the boats, Ranger had a big glitch this year. Somewhere around December, they had a crash in the computers and they lost every order that had been turned in nationwide.
Wow.
So they are way, way, way behind. The boats for the championship will not be available. They will not be built yet. So, if you win one of the boats, you can actually turn your color in if you want.
Oh, you can pick a color for this one.
color, yes.
How about
So
that?
it's
That's
a good
a
thing.
bonus.
But I want all the anglers to know you won't be able to walk away with your boat within a day or two
Yeah.
of winning it. What we're going to
You still want it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to divide the field in half. We had 89 teams qualified for the championship. But we are going to wait and see how many teams enter it.
Okay.
Sometimes you do not have somebody fishes all year long. Something comes up, they decide they're not going to go fish. So we could have 85 teams possibly enter it. 84. We will divide the number of teams that actually enter the tournament in half. And if it's an odd number, say if it was 81. The plus is going to go on the top side.
Okay.
For the big boat.
Entry fee for the championship.
$180.
$180. And I noticed on the website, BayouOutdoor.com, you just go to fishing tournaments on there the other day. You asked that everybody try to get you that money by next Wednesday, May 31st.
We got to have it by next Wednesday because we've got to come up with how many who's fishing the field, and split it, because the anglers want to know which boat they're fishing. It doesn't really affect you. You're still going to go out there and try to catch the biggest sack of fish you can.
Right.
So it's not like, well, I'm fishing for the little boat, I'm going to go fish over here, the smaller boat. You're not going to do that, So as long as you know by Thursday or Friday, that's all that matters. But we divide the field in half. Everybody will start fishing at the same time. It's a trailer tournament. Weigh-in's going to be out of Earl G. Williams. And what we're going to do with we're going to have the Bass Life trailer up there. We're not going to release the fish at the lake site because it's real shallow right there.
Yeah.
We're going to put the fish in the trailer. The first day we're going to take them to Drift-In Landing, which is right there by the bridge, deep water. We're going to let them go there. The next day we're going to take them around to Mooring Sport. That's right on the channel. So deep water there. So we're doing this to disperse the fish and to make sure that they get out into deep water and stop them from, when you let a whole bunch of fish go in shallow water, a lot of them swim back up shallow, and that's when you have a few
mortality.
So that's what we're going to do. But everybody will start fishing at the same time both days, and the people fishing for the big boat will stop at 3 o'clock the first day. They'll fish till 3:30 the second day. The teams fishing for the smaller boat will fish till 3:30 the first day and quit at 3 the first. But it is trailer. You can come to the weigh-in site by boat or by truck. So all of this will be on the website. Go to the newsletter or call me. If you do not know, it's your responsibility to find out. It's part of the procedure. It's your obligation to call and ask. Had a team ask me about fishing above the Highway 43 bridge. Over on Texas side.
Yeah.
You cannot fish above the Highway 43 bridge because when you pass that bridge, you are no longer in Caddo Lake. You're just on the Texas River,
right?
Which has got a minimum of a 14-inch minimum. The slot does not apply above the bridge.
Oh.
So you cannot fish up there in the tournament. You cannot launch at that launch site, which is above the bridge. You cannot launch there because then when you went under the bridge with your 12 to 14-inch fish,
you are illegal.
That's right.
Yeah.
So no launching or fishing above the Highway 43 bridge.
Oh, and so if somebody were just a weekend angler going above the 43 bridge, you have to have a Texas fishing license.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. That's a good point.
Okay, gang, we are hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
That's right, you're listening to the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. This segment is presented by Natchitoches Ford, Cowboys Wild Game Washer, and Wildwood Resort at Toledo Bend. A great place to come and relax while taking in the beauty of Toledo Bend. Now, back to the guys who love the Bend, Gary, Steve, and Mike.
Here's your Cigar Fishing Line's best time to fish. Looks like a great weekend as Friday and Saturday are rated as excellent with Sunday rated as good. into more of their into more. What is that?
He's just copies and pastes.
I do. There's a 10% chance of rain on Friday, a 20% chance on Saturday, and 30 on Sunday. That's good enough, just enough cloud cover to make it good fishing.
Yeah.
This weekend's high will be in the upper 80s, lows in the low 70s. We will be under a new moon phase this weekend. Best times to fish, mid-afternoon. That's not good for tournaments.
No.
That's not good. Friday, 12:50 to 3:50 p.m., sunrise will be 6:21, sunset 8:11. Saturday, best time to fish, 1:50 to 4:50 p.m., sunrise at 6:21, sunset at 8:11. Sunday, be out there chunking and winding, 2:50 to 5:50 p.m., sunrise 6:21, sunset 8:12. This has been your Cigar Fishing Lines. Best time to fish.
We were talking about old river runts and Hawaiian poppers and topwater baits a little bit earlier.
Right.
Smithwick made this one. I can't. My buddy Mark Weldon just texted me. He said his parents are going to an estate sale. What was that? That's an old Smithwick lure. What is that? That's not a devil's horse.
That's a toothpick.
Was that a toothpick?
The toothpick.
What is that?
Looks like it to me. Might be that old toothpick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to have some of those.
Or devil's horse.
What?
It could be a devil's horse.
It doesn't look like a devil's horse
Does
to
that
me.
props on it?
Because devil's horse had props on the front
The
and the back.
toothpick doesn't have props.
The one in the back, neither one of them have a prop. You're right.
And there was one back then. What was it? The old carrot top.
Carrot top, yeah.
Yeah, boy, that used to be a killer bait on
What
Black Lake.
What did you call when you took the carrot top and painted the end of it red?
I don't know.
Some of the old outlaws did that.
Really?
Called it a bloody nub.
A bloody nub.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Really?
Huh. Okay. Hey, Bass Tournament coming up. This is a great cause. I want you to bear with me for just a second because Noah Schultz is the son of Travis Schultz, who works with Life Air Crew. Y'all remember my old friend Tracy Turner that used to work with me on the radio? Mm-hmm. Tracy King is a real name. Her husband, Stephen, is with the Shreveport Fire Department. Well, Tracy works on the Life Air Crew. And Noah Schultz, daddy, Travis, is a good friend of hers. Well, Noah is entering his second battle with cancer. They say, he's going to beat it, but he is back at St. Jude. They're doing what they can to help him out. And they are going to hold a benefit bass tournament to support little Noah Schultz on Saturday, June 17th. So you're going to be fishing anyway. You're going to be fishing the Boss Championship, the 3rd and 4th. You're going to get on fish between. So it's just only 2 weeks later. You're going to have a chance to go back to Caddo Lake, weighing in at the Earl G. Williamson Park, the whole thing, $80 per team if you pre-register by June 10th, $100 the day of the tournament. That one's going to be cash only. $10 big bass pot on that. First place gets a check for $800. Second gets $500. Third gets $300. Big bass. First place will split the big bass pot. They got a lot of door prizes and all kinds of stuff. If you want more information on this, just call Ben at 464-2814. 464-2814. I think they've got entry forms there at Bacon's and a couple of other locations around.
I think that's Ben Potter, fishes our Thursday night tournament.
Okay.
Talked to me about that, and I'm pretty sure that Bayou Outdoors and Boss is going to pull the trailer up there and help with the weigh-in.
Oh, man.
Jay,
what a great cause.
The Outdoor Outlaws music here. All right. Escaping it all. Morris County Game Warden checking fishermen on Lake of the Pines contacted an individual who claimed to have a fishing license, but not with him, nor any other identification on him.
Okay, now wait, stop. You get a ticket for not having it with you, right?
Do you get a ticket?
I'm not sure that's as big a big a violation now because of the handheld computers.
They want you to have it on you.
Right.
But
I'm not positive that they will cite you for not having it if
that
they can
has
pull
changed.
it up.
I do know that's changed.
Because I know that's what I was going to say. Because I know now I could buy a fishing license on my way to the lake, and I've got a little thing on my phone that says, "Hey, here's your confirmation." But they do mail you the license after that.
You've got to have a
your confirmation number doesn't work.
No, you have to have the screenshot of that.
Right.
Yeah, even Seeley mentioned that last week.
But believe it or not, that's not where this is even going.
Okay.
It's
But I was wondering, as far as people fishing this weekend that, that don't normally go.
Identification by name and date of birth showed that he was not who he said he was. Another game warden was called in to assist in determining the individual's identity, which proved to be a felony prisoner escapee out of Alabama. The individual also had multiple warrants for another agency in another state. The individual was placed under arrest and booked in the county jail for multiple warrants, felony prisoner escapee, no fishing license, and failing to...
I imagine that was
fishing license.
Hey, he's an escaped prisoner, and he's worried about this ticket for no fishing license. Yeah, I know that really bothered him. Oh, dang, now I got to pay this ticket. On top of the,
what are you back in for? I didn't have my fishing license.
I think catch you.
What about you? Murder. What about you? Robbed a bank. What about you,
No
Bubba?
fishing
I'm a fishing license. Okay. Red River County game warden set out a bobcat decoy during a county-wide predator hunt. Later that evening, a side-by-side ATV illuminated by aftermarket LED light bar approached their location. The ATV stopped and fired 3 rounds from the county road with a suppressed .22 caliber pistol, striking the decoy once. Several cases are pending. I bet that means several charges are pending. So the question you had with this, Steve, you pointed out, wanted to ask, is it entrapment when they put out these deer and deer decoys and stuff?
And I like the scenario you used. You know, you're in a bar, a blonde walks up to you, and she says, "Hey, you want to go up to the room?" Well, yeah, let's go up to the room. Okay, so you go up to the room, and all of a sudden the police bust in for, prostitution, and you were going to pay a prostitute. Anyway, I thought that was a heck of a sitting there.
If you were just sitting there minding your own business, and all of a sudden this big set of
Mike, that don't happen. That doesn't happen to me. Okay,
no.
Oh, well, I mean,
it's Graff. She sees his socks first. She knows he plays for the other team.
He's gay.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, seriously.
I pay y'all for this abuse. That's the sad part.
Where did this go off the track?
I don't have a problem with the deer decoys. I don't. I mean, now I did question.
But can you see you and Claude going down the road and y'all see a 12-point, and you've had about 4 Budweisers in you? Well, probably a case of Budweiser for you two. But
I believe I can kill him with this bottle this long neck.
I can see him and Claude. Lights come on. We just riding.
Y'all hold my beer while I shoot.
I don't have a problem with them putting out the decoys. Now, they put out this bobcat decoy during a county-wide predator hunt.
Yeah. That's almost like inviting somebody, though, to...
But he's riding down the road at dark, after dark. They've got these LED lights on. He shoots a pistol, a suppressed pistol.
Yeah. Of course, the violation is what? Shooting from the road.
Shooting from the road.
And having a suppressed...
After hours.
Is a suppressed pistol...
I'm going to say there's some places you can't have a silencer.
You can't predator hunt at night like hogs? Is that
okay? That's right. Yeah. This is a night.
So it's really just hunting from the road.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know.
Well, that's just inviting. That's just encouraging somebody to pull the trigger, though. See a bobcat on the side of the road.
I don't know.
And it just happens to be.
But you know what? Season. Now you think about this. How often would that person, if it's a decoy, let's just say it was a live animal, how often, if that person's going to take the time to shoot at a decoy, what if it had been a real animal? They would have shot at it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You see, that's my point.
It's still dead.
Without putting that animal's life in risk, all you're doing is weeding through, and you're getting the bottom of the barrel at that point.
Maybe so.
I agree. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think that it's entrapment. I just
wonder how many people.
We're going back to that bar discussion though, because I'm just wait a minute now. I want you to think about this. There are decoys out there all the time. She all of a sudden is she's had all kinds of surgical augmentations. She's got on her fake eyelashes. She's
nothing real about her.
Fingernails all done. Just wearing a wig, and by the time she's gets all that, you go, holy crap!
Yeah, what the heck?
She was a decoy.
Yeah.
But can you imagine Julie McCoy kicking the door in and you say, "Baby, I was in trap."
Yeah,
Yeah, take that to court.
I was drinking.
Okay, now you're meddling.
Okay. We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30.
Hookers.
Tiger.
I get a little farm pond.
Well, this is it, the final segment. Don't forget to check out our new website at HUTDshow.com, an information highway for all things related to the great outdoors. This segment is presented by Nichols Department Stores, Natchitoches Power Sports, Gamakatsu Hooks, Spro Lures, and Despino and Jim South Tires. The Arklatek's #1 tire dealer with 6 locations to serve you. One more time, here's Gary McCoy, Steve Graff, and the Mud Hen himself, Mike Eccles.
Hey, thanks a lot. Man, we're down to the y'all hogged all the time today. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm supposed to have twice as much fun as y'all.
A professional disc jockey and a color commentator or whatever you call it.
And a fireman.
Yeah, and you think I hogged it?
The CCA Louisiana Star statewide tournament and Anglers Rodeo is in its 23rd year of competition, as we've heard earlier with David Cresson. Each year, the tournament begins on Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. That's this weekend coming up, and lasts until Labor Day. Star is CCA Louisiana's largest membership drive, boasts over 13,000 participants each year. During the competition, anglers compete for over $500,000 in prizes. If you want to learn more, go to cca.com to register and try to win you some outstanding prizes and cash. And CCA making a difference in the future of our waterways.
Wow, you know what? I just got a text.
Brandon's on.
From Brandon's here.
Brandon's on.
Oh wow!
Your text.
We got 8 minutes.
Amen. Hey, Brandon Polinick.
Hey, what's going on?
We're well, brother. Congratulations. You kind of showed out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a very good week.
Well, now tell me, as far as this particular format goes, when you're not having to care for fish, you're not having to do a count, you've got somebody weighing the fish, you got somebody kind of take. Does that put the angler a little bit more at ease?
No.
I would say it does a little bit. There's some variables there that make you a little bit nervous at times, but it's really nice to not have to worry about any dead fish penalties, or pulling issues, or any of that. So you can really just concentrate on fishing, and so there's definitely some major pros to that format.
Well, Brandon, everybody was looking forward to this event. I know you guys scouted there right after the Classic. A lot of guys went to Rayburn. It was absolutely on fire. It looks like it's still on fire. It's been on fire since January. In your opinion, is this probably the best event of the year up to this point?
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well, he's holding the winner's trophy.
Well, exactly. Yeah, dumb question. Scratch that question, Brandon.
He just made this little deposit in his checking account.
For $100,000.
Says, yeah,
of course, I think it's the best one. I would say, from a fishing standpoint, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Everybody was catching fish,
Can-
and it was just about catching the bigger ones to separate.
Can you see Rayburn taking over Toledo Bend as the number one lake in the country this next year?
I hope it doesn't, because I don't want it to have that much pressure on it.
Repeat that?
You know what? He is, all you're doing right there, Brandon, is reiterating what Mike Eccles has said, that pressure is probably the worst part of a lake cycle.
Yeah. I mean, there's also other factors too, but you look at Toledo, and it's not nearly the Toledo that it used to be. And whether or not that's from pressure or not, just from driving around and trying to fish where there aren't 100 boats, there's a huge difference between Toledo and Rayburn right now. You go over to Toledo and it seems like there's boats everywhere, and you go to Rayburn and there's still quite a few boats, but not nearly what there is on Toledo.
What was your number one technique, Brandon?
I had kind of a three-prong approach. The first 2 days, I caught the majority of my fish on a topwater, on a Stormarashi topwalker, walking bait up shallow, and on a Nico rig, Zoom Magnum trick worm, little VMC weedless Nico hook, 1/0, and a 3/16-ounce VMC half moon weight. And that's what I caught the majority of my fish on the first 2 days. And then days 3 and 4, I still caught fish on the topwalker, but then most of my deep fish, I ended up catching the majority of them on a 10-inch plum Zumo monster worm with a half-ounce tungsten and 5/0 VMC extra wide gap hook.
Did the fish move deeper, or did you just the last 2 days, did you move out and try to target bigger fish?
Actually, I caught them deep all 4 days.
Even on the top water?
My game plan. Well, the top water was my shallow deal, but the Nico rig, I caught all those fish deep. The first day, I had an 8-pound, 4-ounce largemouth. That was my first fish of the day that I caught on the Nico rig in about 22 foot of water.
You don't have to say largemouth around here.
Yeah, we knew there was not a smallmouth, out there in the lake.
Exactly.
It wasn't a walleye.
Good point.
So, Brandon, and tell me, when you're looking at the rest of the schedule this year, is there another tournament that you're really excited about?
Just about every single one of them. I mean, our next week we have Dardanelle, and after Dardanelle, it's pretty much smallmouth factories from there on out. And I have been known to be a guy that likes to chase those brown little nomadic creatures.
Well, you had a great tournament up there at Bull Shoals. Was it last year or the year before? I think you won an event up there.
2012. That was my first one.
God, has it been that long? Holy cow.
It has.
Wow, I didn't think it'd been that long. Well, you've averaged a win a year pretty much for the last 4 years?
Mm-mm.
No?
No, I haven't won in 4 years.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Scratch that.
2012. I won in 2013. And then this is my first win since 2013.
But if you have a win on the lake that you probably would have considered your worst shot, that's a heck of a way to start the year off.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't one that I looked at and said, I'd probably have a really good chance at winning that one. If you were to ask me that, I probably would have said one of the remaining, 4 or 5 events. So to already come out with a win, and plus the fact that it came with a classic berth. This is the only tournament of the year that we have that if you win, you get an automatic classic berth, other than the classic itself. So, I mean, that right there is worth its weight in gold.
Oh, without a doubt.
Oh, I thought all Elite Series wins were classic guaranteed.
They used to be, but they got rid of that a couple years ago. So
Oh.
now only the Open winners get the classic berth, but not anything. You have to make it by points.
Well, now, Dardanelle, that ought to be challenging for everybody, because when was the last time BASS was there at Dardanelle?
We were there 2 years ago.
Okay. So really, that's going to be fresh on everybody's brain. As far as there's not been a stop there last year, so it's going to be, it could be anybody's ball game.
Definitely, and the fact that the water there is like 18 feet high. I don't know. It's like super high. The water's flowing at like 176,000 cubic feet a second. So at this point, they're not even 100% sure that we'll have the tournament there.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
To regulate a little
But
bit.
you know what? We had the same issue last year on Toledo Bend. I mean, we're at record levels last year on Toledo Bend, and you guys came in May and were able to pull it off. I mean, it hadn't been that long since the lake went down just enough to be able to even hold the tournament. And you guys really showed out.
Yeah, and if that happens, it can be phenomenal. You know, a place like Toledo is so big it can hold a lot of water. But you get on those river systems, it doesn't take much to really push a lot of debris down them and make them really dangerous and treacherous to run around.
Brandon, back to Rayburn, we're most of you, of course, you're the only guy to weigh over 20 bags every day, 20 pounds every day. Did you have to run way north? How far north were you going? I don't need GPS coordinates unless you're just going to give them out. But
no, I was staying between the two bridges.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
147, 103, yeah.
Yeah, I was staying between the bridges and really just kind of got dialed into that area. I had a lot of stuff down south that I really would have liked to have fished if the conditions would have been different. But with that wind that we had every day, I really kind of just hunkered down in a couple areas and stayed up there and tried to play my odds of keeping my bait in the water as long as possible and not wasting time running around a bunch.
All right, Brandon, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. We're running out of time. We're sorry for the short interview, but, hey, we're fixing to run out of time here and go off the air. So we do appreciate Good luck the rest of the year, man.
All righty. Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
Brandon Polinick, Elite Series Pro Brandon Polinick. That was a neat little surprise. So cool to have him. Anyway, Mark Weldon, going back to his parents do estate sales. He's just emailed me, a gazillion pictures of old rods and reels and boxes and boxes and boxes of old antique lures and stuff like that. If you want to look at some of this stuff, just holler at me. I'm talking about from Hawaiian wigglers.
Wow.
Old Fred Arbogast jitterbugs and things like that. I just wish, it was the old days again.
Yep. Here's this week's final word. The biggest issue with anglers today seems to be with the etiquette or lack of by youngsters or the younger generation of anglers coming up. Part of the problem is the fact that we have a lot more anglers/boaters on the water today than ever before. So the amount of quality fishing water available makes the lake fish a little smaller. We simply need to use a little common sense and respect other anglers and the water they're fishing. Nothing gets an angler more fired up than for someone coming into the area and dropping the trolling motor right on top of them or cutting them off in the direction they are fishing. If it's an open water spot, simply ask for permission to fish the area. Otherwise, find your own water to fish and quit invading mine. For Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, Jay Wiley, and yours truly, Steve Graff, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week right here on 1130 The Tiger for more hooking up and tracking down.